Right. Not yet. Thanks. Not yet. Yeah. Wait a few more. Continue. Hey Tony. Afternoon. It's 2 o'clock here. Hey Stuart. Been a while since the last one. What's going on? Yeah, remembering biology. Has everyone got the latest sounds look distorted? Okay, let me check.
There we go. How's that? Is that better? Any better? Still muffled, or is that okay now? Definitely better. Okay, cool. Yeah, grab the latest Odin. I guess you guys already know where it is. Hey Dave, Powner. Welcome to the live group. Hopefully it's not going to be a rubbish one. Hopefully we'll have a clean run. Thanks, Matt. Take it everyone's source is still up to date from last episode. Yeah, Matt, it has been okay. Been doing some playing with it this morning. Yeah, seems to be okay. Still working with the latest, so. Yeah, David should be okay, but 2H I imagine should be more stable. 2H is on Discord. Yeah. So if you want to grab the latest on Discord, Dave, that would be cool. Might as well have it all up to date. Hey Matt, have you got latest Odin? If so, if not, I mean, grab it on Discord. Yeah, it's a different Discord channel. Matt will probably post the link if you don't mind, Matt. Matt being Davies, not Langley. Yeah, it's Spectrum Next Discord channel. Since the tutorials are for Spectrum Next, I thought I'd put it on Spectrum Next Discord. And plus that's where Matt's put it as well. Oh, can't you post links? Okay, let me grab it then. Give me a sec. Copy link. And there we go. Can you guys see that link? Cool. Let me know when you've grabbed the latest. And then I think we can start. Thanks, Retro Robbins. Right, okay. I shall put that one in then. Let me grab that link. That's a big link. Grabbed it with the Facebook thingy. Let me just grab it as text. There you go. And join the channel. Everyone's got ODN files now, haven't they? Menu, input, player, baddies, main, misc, DMA, defines, screen handler, and sprite handler. God. Just reply to hey Derek, glad you made it. Yeah, the all the files in the attachment. They should be. I don't know if the latest ones are. Did I say? I can't remember whether I posted the latest ones. Can someone check if I did or not? Can someone remind me? I can't remember when they the last episode was. Seems like ages ago now. I suppose I could. Actually, could someone do it for it? Saves me like unplugging the SD card, putting it back into the PC and zipping it over. Anyone got it? They can zip. Yeah, it was 3 weeks ago on it. Thank you, Retro Robbins. Can someone zip up their folder if they're still using CSpect? Can zip up the folder and send a link to either in the Facebook group or the Discord channel, or send then PM me a link to it, and then I'll post it on the in the chat so Derek can grab the latest. Yeah, it's a backpack on the door. Yeah, it's my wizard hat. It's a better fit, isn't it? Or do I need to go somewhere? How's that? I'm a wizard, Harry. Brought to you by Gandalf. Right. So, has anyone sent me the files? Just do a quick check. Nope. I suppose I could do it myself. Right, hold on. I shall see. Yeah, I should be able to. Hey, Crowley. Unplug that and plug it back in, so give me access to the SD card. Bear with me a sec. There we go. Right. In tutorials. I'll get rid of these old files, the ODS ones. In fact, I'll just zip up the tutorials folder. Yep, I wonder if I can drop. Can I post that? I guess not. I'm going to have to put it on Discord. to date. 11th April. Let's start. Tutorial. Right, I've just posted, and I will copy link and post it. There you go. Cool, glad you got 2H, and I've just posted a link to the zip on Discord channel. Right, so let me know when you've got the zip. I see what you mean. Yep. So I can just do L space, not that one, L space. I can't do that because I need to just restart the next. Right. Dot Odin. Right, do you know how to, Derek, do you know how to set up 2H? What happened there, Matt, is I didn't have the SD card in the next because it was in the PC, because I was uploading the latest source to Discord. So ls, not .ls, right, and then we should be able to do, there you go, and then edit, assemble, right. Derek, for your information, while you're in Thingy, you can do ls for directory, and then you can do cd dot, and then it should change directory, and then you can go back to the cd coding tutorials, and then just load main.odn, which I've already got there. Extend L to clear the screen when you're in the edit. Right, quick update for you, quick catch up for you, Derek. Extend mode is like a control. So if you press edit, you swap into the text file, and you press edit, you come back to the command line where you can do the ls or assemble or whatever. Right, if you press edit and then actually no, let's go back to the thing. If we also load in defines .odn, right, when we're in thingy, if you press extend and edit, it'll bring up a panel at the bottom left, and then you can select which file you want to go to. And allows you to swap through files. You can also, when you're on a line, if you wanted to duplicate a line, you press extend mode and D, or if you're using a C-spec, then it's Control Shift and D. And to get rid of them, it's extend mode or Control Shift and X. And same with C and V for copy and paste, and it copies the line and pastes the line. Don't worry, Matt, I won't mention a block copy for for blocks of lines. But yeah, that'll come at another point, don't worry. There are other things as well. Like we've got True Video, which is tab, because it's placed where the tab key is on a normal keyboard, so normal PC keyboard, so it feels really natural. Right, you've opened Odin. Right, cool. Right, now go back to the thingy and do A, and then you should assemble, and then press R to run, and it should run the game. And go back to exit. And the keys are QAOP and space. Yep. So have you assembled it and run it, Derek? Yeah, I'll type A, then main.odn. Should be able to put tab there and finish the file name for you, Matt. Or Ped, whoever wants to take that task on. That would be a nice feature. Same with the load, like MA and then tab would be handy. All working, cool, nice one. Welcome to the live episode, or your first live episode even. Right, now we're going to start fledging this out a bit because we've only got a few defines in, and we're going to want to start making things big, so we might as well start with you're looking for more programmers. Okay. I'll have a chat with you after this. Okay, Matt. Right, where was that? So, right, what we need to do is we'll start adding some port addresses because we've got next registers there. So we have the layer 2 access port. I don't know where that Z came from. Access port, and that is can I tell across there? Yep. EQU and then string 123B. Right, we also have the next register select port. That's EQU string 243B, and then next reg just access port, EQ 2 5 3B, and yeah, might as well put the sprite slot select port. EQ string, that is 303B. Right, what else should we add? Because we've got loads to do, and I suppose really we should, I know what will be handy next, because we want to start with the memory stuff, because we're running out of memory, or we will be at some point soon, so we might as well start. And that is 50, and then I just duplicate that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So now I have 8 of them. So it's 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then extend an S to save. Right. And let's see where. Yeah, it shouldn't be too awkward to do tab completion, Matt. This file will become a de facto next sysvars. Yeah, hopefully, Matt, we'll just keep expanding on it when we need to. And then that way it will get more complete as we go through. Right, what I want to do now is right, let's see if we can get layer 2 going. I've not tried this yet with Odin, so this will be interesting. I assume it does work, Matt. Have you set when you set the text mode, well, tile map mode, Matt, do you what's too long when you try to assemble ped? Oh, is it the max 28? Okay. Let's see if it assembles them. Assemble too long. Right. Okay. Matt, do you have all the symbols done? Change that to reg. Oh, there's a comma on that 51 there. Save. Not as a node in file yet. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, we can add that to. I'll get it off you during the week, and then I'll modify all this and the code that goes with it to make use of your file, and then that way, what I'll do is repost the finished version ready for next week's episode. Right, let's save that, and then right. Also, you probably don't know this yet, but even though I have the defines in the edit, if I do assemble, it still assembles main.odn. Derek, the reason for that is Matt has made it remember the last assemble that it did, so it knows to assemble the main file, which is a lot better than, because if you're in the middle of editing one file and you want to assemble, then it'll assemble the right file. Okay, no worries, Matt. Thanks for that. Right, so let's see if we can get put the next layer 2 access port in. Load PC layer 2 access port. The way that Z's coming from, because I'm not pressing Z. Because my finger's on the cap shift, not Z. Right, load a comma 3 out of brackets C comma A. Right, hopefully this will mess things up, because it will put, hopefully, fingers crossed, it will put the layer 2 screen on. I'm not feeling overly confident about that, but we shall see. Hey! It did do it. But now I can't see the screen because layer 2 is there. I have to restart, so don't run it. If you have, I'm sorry. Just reset your machine or escape out of cspect and load it up again. Alright, load. You don't have to go back to the directory, because one of the good things about Gary Lancaster has done with Next Basic is it remembers what directory you were in. So if I do an ls now, it's still in the coding tutorial folder. Right, main.odn. Right, yep. So that worked. Hang on, let me just check which bit. See, there's bit 1 and bit 0 and bit 1. And let me just check what bits are what. Right, if anyone wants to know what I'm using here, or what I'm looking at for reference, I'll post a link. As in pause mode. You got some, but when you went into Odin, L2 overlay. Alright. Yeah, it's why assembly is more advanced than basic. 3 also is write enable, yeah. That's what killed Odin. See, I knew it was dead. I did try pressing a few the keys to get out. Yeah. In fact, we shall do that now. Main menu. I guess it's here. We change to turn from call it exit program. If I can type said comment. Right, and then you should probably put that in a main file also. What did we call it? Exit program. Right, what we want to do is add BC, comma, layer 2. Let's see what it's a control register. Let me just make sure. Load lines.odn. Access port. Obviously. Layer 2 access port. Ooh. Here's one for you guys. Matt, head. if I press the caps lock, it doesn't caps lock. Right, so let's save that. Now you should be able to assemble that. Don't run it because I'm going to run it for you because I don't want yours. Right, we've got random layer 2 pixels, which is great. Fade down, down. There we go. And we've got big. That should have turned it off. Right. It scrolls too much. Typical. Right. Quit. Got it in. Load main.odn and then edit. Actually, is that's not getting to exit player, is it? Because that should turn it off. Set BT to something weird, Eric. BC is layer 2 access port. Yes, Matt, Odin is full screen. Thankfully, because it's nice to have more text on screen than 256 by 192 pixels of text. Right. So title, close main menu, and then goes to exit. I wonder what the main menu does. Let's have a look at main menu. It's been a while since I've looked at that. Does that pop the address off the stack when it exits? That's options. Right, main menu is there, so if you not Q, not A, so it's up and down, and then if it's 1, it goes to options. If it's 2, it sets a Z flag. So our Z flag should Main menu. Our Z flag should jump to the exit. After the main menu, jump Z, exit program. Exit program. Gets the access layer port, sets it to 0, which disables it. And Alt C with A turns it off. Any idea why that wouldn't work, Matt? Because it should work by all purposes. I'll turn off layer 2, coming back to the debugger. Okay, nice one. Cheers. But that exit program should do it anyway. There's no reason why it shouldn't do it, because it's setting it to 0, which disables the access port. We could copy this line and paste that there, and let me go through the layers, priority layers, and for your reference, I am just looking through the IO port, TB Blue IO port system link that I posted before, and register 15 sprite and layer system. And what we want is sprites and ULA, then layer 2, so it's 010. 010. Save that. Now we should be able to assemble. Run. No. Why is that? Put it up. Unless it's because when we're setting the port up, we're setting it to 3 instead of just enabling the. Yeah, if we set it to just enable the screen, that might be better. Right, I might stop it from thinking. Load main.odn. Right. And guessing it's 1. And let me just check. Load defense.odn. 123B. Nearly there, hold on. it's 1. And 2 is the write enable. I'm guessing I can't remember, I can't find it quickly enough, so let's just run it and find out. Right, yep. Although, is that actually... doing anything? Because that... hang on. Something weird's going on here. Yes, something weird's going on because that didn't comment out. I'm going to reset. Something funny was going on there. And reset. Come on. Okay, something not good happening here. Nope. I haven't fried my SD card. That's it. Drive, wrong drive. Here we go. Command line, Odin. Now we can do ls, yes. Phew, thank God for that. And right, let's try again to comment that out. Better. Save that. Assemble. Run. If I press up, that was crashing before. And well, that was exiting back to the thingy. So. Right. So if I put these back in, save that, assemble, run. Right, we expect that. If I press Q, nope, it's not coming back to me. Okay, definitely something funny going on. Yeah, well, thanks, Matt. Right. I keep doing that. Right. Go to tutorials. And then edit. Break. break, then command line Odin load main.ods, odn even. Right. And save. Now let's try with that. Right, okay, that worked, believe it or not. So why are we getting... Right, because we were using 3 before. Right. Let me see the text. It's 2, yeah. As we can see. Yeah, perhaps we grab the latest version of Odin. No, Ped, I think it was just because the write enable, maybe some interrupts were writing to the RAM in the lower 16K of RAM, which was changing things, which messed it up. So probably when Odin kicked back in, or whatever part of Odin was running, when if it was writing to RAM, then it would have. So yeah, probably best to grab a latest version. I will do that myself also. Take it in Discord. Yep. Right. Right. Here we go. Browser break, command line, .odin, and load main.odn. Right. Yeah, what was it though? That should be the only bit that exits. Right. What I'm going to do now is, now that see, the thing is, that wasn't, because I wasn't enabling the writes to RAM to be writing to the video RAM. It doesn't exit when I press Q there anymore. If I go down and press space, it's now in the pause state. And I just press any key and it comes back to Odin. So I reckon if I put that back to 3, it would still crash, which is a bit worrying. Could be the interrupts you may need to check the interrupts to make sure other people haven't got the enable bit set. Right, anyway, let's carry on because it's now 3 o'clock and all we've done is put layer 2 on. But we've figured a couple of issues anyway. Low day with 2, not 3. Derek, the 3 enables the write to video RAM in the ROM address, which basically means when you write to any address below 16K, below the 16383, well, below 16384, or below 4000 hex, if you write to any address below that, it writes to the 16K that is pointed to by the top 2 bits of this. So if you do like 4 3 4 3, that would write to bank 16K bank 10. If you do it to 0 3, it would write to 16K bank 9, and 8 3 would write to 16K bank 11. That's assuming that your layer 2 is still set to bank 9. So anyway, let's leave that as 2 because we don't want to use that right into ROM because I want to bank it in manually. Now we need to load in screen handler.odn. Is it in this? I hope it's in this. Yes, it's in plot. Right. Now, we're going to call this L2 plot. And what this is going to do is how should we do this? Mess up system variables. No, I might need to, because we haven't got our own interrupts running. Hang on. I just put a res on here for now. Not that we're calling it yet or anything, but right. What's it gonna do? That was it. Set up the stack. Load. Stack. Progress, comma. SP. And then down at the bottom. Load SP, comma. Bracket. Stack. Address. Stack. Actually, we'll call it stack store. EW0 because we want to store a word. Back up to the top. change that one to stack store. Helps if my fingers are in the right place on the keyboard. Right. Yeah, no. That's why on our exit program, I turn off L2. I shouldn't need this though. So let me save that because I reckon it wasn't getting to there before. Right, so if we assemble, run, we can't see it because, yeah. Right, so that worked. And we don't need that because we can keep the layout the same. And that probably stores it anyway, it restores it for the Rodin. Right, now, yes, 128 bytes, and you want my stack here. And what we're doing is because the code goes into 8000 hex, we're keeping the stack in mode sp, my stack. We're keeping the stack pointer. Yeah. So as long as this code above doesn't get too big and take it outside the 16k, we should be able to have the top 16k banked in to anything as long as we remember what it was initially when we bank something out. Right, and what we should do is how best should I do this? Load. Yeah. PC, comma, string 0850 0800 plus MMU register 0. Load HL, comma, banks, store banks. Turn the graphics mode on. Load cool. Get banks. Right, if we go to we need to load, well actually we need to new banks.asm there.odn. And then banks.odn. Copy, paste. Well, oh, right. So, we call it stored banks and get banks. Stored banks, and we want DB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, and get banks. In fact, I don't want to use BC, I want to use DE. I was going to use have I got overwrite mode on? Matt, what's the best way to turn override off? Overwrite off. In overwrite mode, is it graph? Shift graph. Extend 0. That's how I did it. Extend on a delete maybe. Extend 0? Nope, it's not extend 0. It's definitely not extend but 0, that's delete. Oh, not 0. Yeah, that's it, thank you. Right, load BC, comma, string 0800 plus, it's not BC, it's DE. Right. So our deregister, which is here, or we could change it to so it's a bit more readable. 8 times 256 plus MMU register 0. Right, so the 8 times 256 puts it in high byte, puts 8 in the high byte, which is why we've got the times 256. Because we want to do 8 registers. And then so let's go to our get banks. Load BC, comma, what's it? Did we call it? Load defines.odn. Next reg selects port. Next reg select port. Thanks. Next reg select port. So we want to load A, comma E, which is our bank, which is the MMU register 0 that we had in E. And then we want to house bracket C, comma A. This is the way you have to read in the next register. It's a bit of a pain. It would be nice to have it as an instruction. Hint, hint, Alan, if you're if you're watching. And then we do inc B, because it's one instruction for T states instead of load BC with next reg. What is the access port? Yeah, So basically point B, because if you look at the defines, it's 243B, and then because we're increasing the B register to 25, that's how we get it with the inc B. And it's quicker than doing a load BC. So we just use inc B, and then we do in a comma bracket C, then load brackets HL comma A, inc HL, and then dec D, JR NZ comma get banks, and then ret. So now we've got a copy of what's in each bank. So when we do set bank C1000, we want to do add a comma A, because we're doing a 16k bank, not an 8k bank. And then we want to next reg mmu underscore register 6, because that's C1000, comma A, inc A, which is the next 2k chunk, and then next reg mmu underscore register 7, comma A, and then ret. And what we want to do is load, actually we then want to do load HL comma current banks. No, that's DE we want, because we want to use HL to copy from. Load HL comma stored banks, load BC comma 8 LDIR, and that will current banks. Right, and then we do load current banks plus 6, comma A, load current banks plus 7, comma A. And the reason we want to have the numbers for which banks that we're in is when we start using our own interrupt routines, if we change the bank like just after that instruction, just after this load current band 6, then it's still not set the current bank, but when the interrupt returns, it will set to what the current what was in the current bank, which will be the new one that we want it to be. And then even though it will set it again with the next instruction, it just means that we won't accidentally not set the correct bank, if you know what I mean. It's just one of them flaws that if you're changing banks and the interrupts change banks, you need to know what was there and what you're changing to. So you keep a current set of the banks before you change them. Right, and also we'll need a restore banks, or we call it set banks. And then this will basically be a copy of BC. Actually, we don't need to do that. It'll just be a yeah, we will have to do it like that. Load BC, comma, next reg, select port, and then load A, comma, E, and then out bracket C, comma, A, inc B, load A, comma, brackets HL, because we want to get it from our current bank, and then load out bracket C, comma, A, inc HL, and we want to deck D and JR and NZ, comma, set banks and ret, because we don't need to copy them again to the current banks, because they will be the current banks. Actually, yeah, we're going to need to yeah, what we'll do is we will load push DE I should be able to actually, if I use IX, so yeah, use IX to store where it's going. So we do a load bracket IX plus 0, comma A. Take that line and D equals MM reg step base E sorry, E is the register base, isn't it? E is the register base, D equals number to set, and then HL equals buffer, and current banks. Right, what I should do is I don't need to set IX in the calling routine, because load IX, comma, current banks. In fact, I'll just do the DE here. 8 times 256 plus MMU register 0. and then we don't need right. Do we have local registers? Yeah, I'm too dangerous with overwrite. Import. Yeah, I'm not nowhere near the by holding cap shift and then IOP, I get IOPZ and IOPZX. Just doing shift IOP. Now I don't know whether that's something in your keyboard routine, Matt, or whether that's something that's an issue with the next. I do not know. That's something we'll have to look into. I've never seen that happen. I'll have a look in. I'll check my routines at a later date, well, after this, to see what happens with the shift IOP. Because basically, shift I, keep hold of the I, shift out, and then the P. And I got an X on the P. But you do it quick, but hold all basically hold all three. Yeah. Right. Yeah, an in key is needed as well, don't worry. Thank you. Oh, helps if I'm in the right place on the keyboard. In key. Right. Have we got local? Yeah, it does feel like a bug. Thanks for the feedback, Stuart. So it probably is just a it could be a thingy. Could be a hardware bug if it's not happening with the PS2. I'll run some tests anyway after this. So no locals. So this will be set B set banks loop. I don't want to. I could just do a deck B here, and then deck B here, and then skip past this, and then it'll be quicker. But I don't want to. It's going to waste a byte, but it'll be faster. But speed's not an issue because I'm not going to be calling this set banks often. Right. So now we want to do get banks loop, and we need an inc E as well. Inc E there. Right. Load HL, stored banks, because that's where it's going to go to. I suppose we could load IX, current banks. Load IX. Plus node, comma A, and then inc IX. And then we don't need this bit. set banks. I'm only going to do the set banks once, so load HL comma stored banks. Right, so that's going to read the bank, put it in HL stored banks and thingy, and then we're getting stored banks, put them into current banks. Inc IX, put the inc HL there. Right. So now we don't need to call it with anything. We need our DE set up here. Load D, 8 times 256 plus MMU register 0. Right. Get messages. Unlock. Right. And we want to set bank C1000 to do that. So we want to basically get banks and then set banks. Save main. And our exit program. Right, we want to call set banks. Right, now that shouldn't make any difference at all, except if it doesn't assemble. Defines line 20. Line symbol line 20. Main.odin. Main.odin line 20. Get banks. It will be. I need to include it. Thank you, Stuart. Helps if I look where I'm typing. Include banks.odn. That's weird. I was doing a control F, control S. Not done that in a while. Because I'm on the next. Right. There we go. This should not work. Right. Yeah, probably best you don't run at the moment. Right, load main.ods. No, load main.odn. Load banks.odn. Right. I do the, which will be the bank. Out register. Yeah, inc B in A, bracket C, which will read it. Then we store that in HL, which will be our stored banks, which is where we want it. And it'll increment it, store it in our current banks, which is where we want it. And then inc E, which will be MMU register 1. Then dec D, which will be 7, and then jump back loop. The other one was the loop, yeah. Right, that was it. ODN. One, two, space. Yes. Right. So banks are now working. Believe it or not, because it's still stored. Right. So what we need to do now is, in fact, what you should probably do is make a. Let me go to main.ods. Comment out that line, save it, assemble, and run. Right, so we've still got our game. Right, don't worry about the lag because I'm going to a USB grabber, and it's not giving me the full frame rate. We'll get a bit of lag. Oh, done it again. Right. Go. Right, down to exit, press space twice, and then it'll take us back to Odin. Now what you need to do is back up your directory, or do a copy of it. The reason being is we're going to change it now to be all layer 2 rather than ULA. So we're going to change the plot routine, we're going to change the what else? The print routines. So if you want to make a backup now, make a backup, and we'll get on to doing some layer 2 stuff. Put that back in. When people have backed it up, let me know and we'll carry on. In fact, I will do it myself as well, just so I've got backup. Plug it back in again. Come on, there's a drive in there. Let me see it. There we go. Right. In tutorials, copy and paste, and then check the drive. There we go. I have it too. So everyone else should also have it. I need to quit Odin to go back to the browser and remount the drive. Press M to remount the drive and then press Y to say yes, and then that'll bring us our files back. And then break, back to command, and then .odin. Right, is everyone made a backup? I can do it now. Right. Is everyone up to where we are? Or should I say, is anyone not up to where we are? Yep, cool. Right. So, right, comment out, uncomment this back in. So we now put the screen on. And what we're going to do is we're going to totally change it to thingy. Right, edit load screen handler. Again. You want to run through the code in banks? Yep. Banks.odn. Edit. Right. Do you want me to comment it out? Do you want me to put comments on it? What do you want to know, Derek? Basically, right. Stored original banks. Current set banks. And 8 times 8k MMU banks. Starting at MMU 0. I won't put the red string because I won't fit it in the length of the line. Next, just to check you've got everything. Next reg, well, what I'll do is I'll go through putting comments on, and then while I'm doing the comments you can check. Next reg, read by selecting the port, or the next reg port. Nope. MMU 0 stored in E reg gets incremented inked apostrophe D. Right, then set the port. Point to access port. What is it called? Define stop again. Yeah, access ports. It's to expect access port. Then reads current value for that MMU. Stores it in stored banks. Next, stored bank, and also stores in current banks. Next, current bank. Next, MMU, MMU, not NNU. Next of the 8 times loop. Loop around if D not equal 0. Turn. Right. Current banks. Stored original banks. Actually, what I should do is cut that and paste it there, and then set banks HL. If you want to do this, so do you want to set off 8? Although you might change the bank where the code is and where the stack is. But anyway, right, current banks, and then 8 times loop, and starts at MMU 0. BC equals next reg, select port. Get MMU 0. Obviously it increases as we go because it's E. Then select port. Point B to xreg. Access port. Get stored bank. Point to next stored bank. Store in current bank. Point to next current bank. Actually set the bank. Next MMU. Loop the 8 times. If the not equal 0, then go to set banks loop and then chain. To set 16k bank. Set current bank first. Actually set bank 6. Next. Bank. Set current bank 7. First. Actually set bank 7. Return. Whew. Right, everyone's. Yeah, I know you can do Alt A, Alt C with A. In fact, we will do that. Can't use my mouse to point to the text. Right. Actually, no, I'll leave it like that because it saves changing the comments. But you can change it to Alt C, A. Right. Main screen handler. Right, we'll do is we'll do CLS L2, because then we've got both thingies. So we want to do A, 9. There's no colons. Call set bank. Did we call it set bank? Set bank C1000. Then we do actually we'll do load E 0, which is what byte we will be filling the screen with. Yeah, and then CLS L2E. Yeah, we'll call E, which actually sets the clears the screen with whatever's in the E register. Then load. In fact, we'll just do call clear bank, and we'll put this in our bank routine. Clear bank. Push F, because we want to just be able to do ink. Right. And then what we'll do is call set bank C1000. In fact, what we will do is load A, brackets. Current banks plus 6. Actually, BC. In fact, I'll do HL. HL concurrent back plus 6 push HL. And then we want to pop HL. Set bank MMU6. Load bracket current banks plus 6, comma A. Next reg U register 6, comma A, and ret, and then set bank MMU7. Load brackets current banks plus 7, comma A. Next reg MMU register 7, comma A, and ret. Right. So pop load A, comma L, call set bank MMU6, load A, comma H, call set bank MMU7. And that will restore bank 6 and 7. So set bank C, which will set both banks up. And then we want to do load HL, string C1000. Load, I want to do load A, E. Load D, string C01. Load BC, string 3F. Nope. 3FFF. Yeah, enjoy the footy, Matt, and thanks for the help. Load brackets HL, E, A, and LDIR. Right, so if we save that, unable to save. Why is it unable to save? Why is that unable to save? Bugger. And he's gone off to the football. It's not like we've got a line that is out. It's not like we've got a line that's too big. Yeah, true. Try an LS. Oh. Has it lost? Right, so I'm gonna have to okay. I'm not going to be able to save at all, am I? Save M colon banks.odn. cd dot. Save M colon slash banks.odn. Okay. I'm probably going to end up losing this, aren't I? Because I'm going to have to assemble. It's not letting me, so I'm going to have to quit. Ah! quotes around more complex names. Okay, right. Save m colon banks.odn. It thinks bank ODN is a folder. Does it? I don't know. Close the document. How'd you close the document? It's not. I can't. The only way to quit is extended queue. It's unable to exit because the document's not saved. And I can't save it. So I'm just going to have to reset. Close Alt extended W in editor. Right, okay. I'm not saved. You sure? Yes. Right, they were all saved, so I should be able to quit now. Yep. Why is that? Why can I not change the D drive? Can I not change the D drive? Yeah, I think the thing is. Right. Time to type it in again. Drive. Right. Fingers crossed, some of it will still be there. So break dot odin load main dot ods odn main handler. Right. Load main handler dot odn, and I'll be the CLS. I'll load bank. Right, that's fine. Load a comma 10, call clear bank. Load a comma 11, call clear bank. We can just jump to clear bank there. Save, and then load banks.odn, and how much of this do I have to rewrite? Okay. Okay. Right. Thanks. 1000. Do that, just do that in one line. So we do a call. So clear bank. Want to do push AF and load HL, comma bracket current banks plus 6, push HL. Then we want to set bank C1000, I want to call it, in fact. Call set bank. Right, then we want to do load HL, comma strings C1000. Load A, comma E. Load D, comma strings C1001. Load BC, comma strings F. Load. Actually, HL, comma E, LDIR, and then pop HL, comma L, load current banks plus 6, A, it's reg, register 6, comma A, load A, comma H, load current banks plus 7, comma A, next reg, MMU, register 7, comma A, and ret. Right, so pop HL, call set banks C1000, pop AF, ret. So that will get the current bank 6 and 7, push HL, and then we will set bank with the A register. So there's the difference between these two is set banks and set bank. Set bank sets the 16k bank register with A, so it doubles A, and then set banks uses H and L, which is the a current. What's in a current? It will set the current bank in 6 and 7 to be L and H, which is why we get the current ones before we clear the bank, set the bank, clear the bank, pop HL, set the bank to the old bank, and then pop AF, and then ret. Right, so should we go to our main, and if we we've got this. CLS L2E. If we do a load, actually, if we do it in the main, do it in the menu. Load menu dot ODN. Right. Right. First, we're going to do load e comma, and then we'll have our we'll have a red screen. Sod it. And then, in fact, if I do that, that should work. The red, green, and blue, and then call CLS L2 E. Save and screen handler. Or CLS L2E. Right, so we go back to main. Assemble. We should, fingers crossed, get a red screen. Yes, or at least a red third. It's done. Right. So our CLS L2 I think I know why. Our screen handler. Nope. That should be 9 and 10 and 11. Clear bank. In the banks. Clear bank. Let's push AF and set bank C1000. It's double Z because it's 16k banks, 16k bank 9. And next rich MMUs are 8k chunks. So that's why we did add a. Then we just do an NK for the bank 7. Right, so it still doesn't explain why. Ah, I know why. Yes. We also need to push DE and we'll push BC for prosperity so we don't have any issues with registers. BC pop DE. Actually, I don't need them there, so let me just delete them there and delete. Oh. Push H out. I need to cut that and paste it there. Push H out. Pop BC, pop T, pop H out. Right, so basically we come in, push all the registers that we're using, get the current bank, push it for this pop here, which then sets the bank back again. Then sets on a new bank because we haven't changed A, so we're still okay for bank C, set bank C0. Because we haven't changed E, or E should still be there, and because we're pushing and popping E now, it should fill in all of the sections. So assemble and run. And we have a red screen. Woo! Down to space, and space again. Right. So, everyone still following everyone up to the same point? Yeah, Derek, there's in our banks folder file, we've got set bank C1000 and set banks C1000. Set banks sets both 8K banks to whatever they were, because you can mix and match with the 8K banks. Whereas this set bank C1000, sorry, set it to a 16K bank, so it sets the it doubles the A register because we're going into it with pointing to a 16K bank. Tab behind, okay. I guess you can follow up at your own speed after this, Dave. How far behind are you? Do you want us to wait, or you're too far behind? Don't like to leave a man behind. How far are you behind, Dave? Okay, carry on. Okay, will do. Like I say, always message me on Facebook or Discord if you get stuck on anything that you're catching up on. You're missing the end of Clearbank, Derek. Okay, there you go. Clearbank is push AF, push HL, push DE, push BC, and then load HL with current banks plus 6, so it gets bank 6 and bank 7 because we're putting it into HL, which is a 16-bit register. We push them because we want to reserve them. We want to set the correct bank back when we've come out of this clear bank routine. Set the bank, we call set bank C1000, and then load HL with C1000, load contents of HL with E, and load D with C1001, so it points to the next byte, and then load BC with 3FFF because a 16K bank is 4000, but because we're already writing the first byte here, and then it will be copied each LDIR loop. It will write to the address at DE, which is why we pointed DE to be HL plus 1, because we want to copy it to the next byte, and then HL and DE both get incremented and BC gets decremented with the LDIR, and it loops around 3FFF times because we've already written the first byte here, so we only need to do 3FFF of these LDIs, which is repeated. That's what the R stands for. And then we pop HL. It's missing the pops, so okie dokie. The pop HL, which sets the banks back for 6 and 7, and then pop DE, pop BC, pop BC, pop DE, pop HL, pop AF, and then ret. Right. So if we go to menu, Right. We can actually we'll leave the CLS stuff in. So no, we won't. We'll get rid of it. Because we've got a CLS layer 2 now. What we want to do now is this print is L2. And if we change all the prints in menu.ods to L2, so print L2, and basically every sprint is going to be L2, and CLS L2. I'll change that to actually load E, 0. Actually, the CLS L2 sets E to 0 anyway. It's L2. 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 Print L2, because we're going to need that one as well. Print L2. Right, so that is the menu bit code done, but we need to go in screen handler. So we've got basically we're going to do print L2, which will be pop HL, call print L2, and then jump bracket HL. And then print L2. On bracket HL. Basically, we're going to copy the print routine in its entirety. Unfortunately, I've got a block copy, because otherwise we'd be able to just do a block copy. But we're going to have to do all of them and this print char. And plot L2. Right, so anyway, back up to here. That's a long way to go. Right. CP32 JRC, BR code L2. And then call chart L2. And then jump print L2. code L2. CP BR80 JRNZ, not rat L2. L2. And then it's the print code, which is 13 DVHL. D, brackets HL. HL, load D, bracket HL, HL, jump, print, L2. And we have what? Brat, L2. Compare CLS. That's JRNZ, not CLS L2, not CLS L2, right. So basically you want to do load E, comma, every push. Don't need to push HL because HL will be stored. So if we just do call CLS L2, and we do a load D, 0 because we want to set the coordinates back to the top left, and then jump print L2. That should be the same as oh, I forgot print. CP ink Z, comma, not PR ink L2 PR CLS. Not PR ink L2 A, comma, bracket HL ink HL load L2 ink comma A. Right. And then jump print L2. Right. So we've got ink CLS deck. Right. Okay, getting there. So deck 8 and deck 16. All right. Where are we? There we go. CP PR deck 8 PR NZ, not PR deck 8 L2, but not PR deck 8 L2 there. So we want to C comma bracket HL, HL, load B comma brackets HL, because what we're doing is it's getting a 8-bit value from an address in memory. A comma bracket B, BC, push HL, load L comma A, load H comma 0, call deck 8, and then pop HL, jump, print L2. And then we do, just let me make sure that that's the same. Yeah, it's doing push HL. Print deck 100, right. Print deck 100. And then compare PR deck 16 JR NZ, not PR deck 16 L2, load C brackets HL, ink HL, load B brackets HL, ink HL, load push HL load as well. And what did we do on the other one? Yeah, pretty much. And because we've already stored HL, we can think it, so destroy it. So load L comma A, ink BC, load A comma bracket BC, load H comma A, call deck 1000 L2, and then pop HL, jump, print L2. Deck, not deck 16 L2. That should just be jump L2. Yeah. Deck 10,000 L2. Load BC. 10,000. Call deck 1 loop L2. I think it was Can you hear me loud enough, by the way? Missing pops. Where are we missing pops? Derek, where are we missing pops? I've just noticed your message saying missing pops. Or is that what you were missing on? Or was that just on the end of the banks? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Pops on the banks. Right, okay, no worries. Wasn't sure whether it was a new message or not. So you're still following? Then we copy that and then take a 0 off and then load BC commit 1000. Print deck 1 L2. Hang on, was it print deck 1? Print deck 1 L2. Print deck 100 L2. Load BC commit 100. Call print deck 1 L2. Print deck 10 L2. Load BC comma 10. Call deck 1 L2. Bert deck 1 L2. And gone. What are we doing on the last one? 100, 10, and then load A, commit L, and then print deck 0. And I've got 255. Load A, 255. Deck 1 L, L2. Ink A or A SBC HL HL comma BC. What's the label? NC comma print deck L. Two. HL comma BC. Not. There. That's 0, just in case you don't remember. It's asking for 0 in the ASCII set, but in the font. Print char 0. In fact, I can just change that to jump. Oh, change to how if you want, but how won't we? We'll change the jump. Right, so print char and L2. Right, print X16. Is it X16? Yeah. Right. Load A, comma H. 8 L2. L2. Load A, comma L. Print hex 16. Sorry, 8 L2. We push F. Swap nib. Call print hex 884 L2. Pop F. Print X4 L2. And 15, and load hl comment dot hex. Actually, it won't be dot hex with it because we will have a label. It is hex tab. Push hl because we want to preserve hl as well. Dot hex tab. Add hl comma a. Load a comma brackets hl. Call print char L2. Pop hl. Right. Assuming that's where it is. Yep. And now we've just got print char to do. And the plot as well. So print char L2. First of all, we will want to get rid of, well, save what's in the bank. We'll get the screen later. We'll get the address of where we're getting the characters from first. See how we do it on the first one. Alright, so it's getting the screen coordinates, which is fine. I think the font. I'm doing it right. Okay. So, right, the good thing about printing characters, or plotting basically, plotting pixels on layer 2 is the screen is done in basically done in a way that it's linear. So your E is your X position, which is our low byte of DE, and the high byte is D. So what we want to do to get the screen position, we want to do load A, D, and actually let's get the bank first. Load it A, D, and with if we cut this into 8 banks and then put the sequential banks in, so we can be going banks of 8K rather than 16K banks when we're banking it in, then what we can do is we can print on a non-character boundary in the Y and not worry about going over our bank. And with not worrying about going over the bank, we can just set the bank at the beginning and then write the whole character and then put the bank back. So what we should probably do is do a push HL, push DE, and push BC because we want to preserve them. And we'll pop BC, pop DE, pop HL. We also want to load HL comma brackets current banks plus 6 push HL. Right. Also, we want to get our characters. What I'm going to do is, because we've got our character in the A register, actually I could just put it into the C register now. And that way we've got all of it ready. Or should we just point HL to it first? No, I do. Let's see. Get our bank. Then we want to set our new bank. So we get the Y position. And we want to and it with bits 5 upwards. So 1, 2, 3. Oh. And then 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And then basically we want to add 18. I want to swap nib because we want to bring it down into the lower nibble. Because we've already handed it out, we don't need to worry about getting rid of the bits because they've already got rid of them that we don't need. So it's basically these last 7, and they will be now in bits 1, 2, 3 after this swap nib. And because we are because we're doing it in 8K banks, we need to get them down. So we use shift right arithmetically. No, shift right logically A, and that will take us down into bits 0 to 7. Well, bits 0 to 3 and the value 0 to 7. And then actually what we'll do is we'll do RLCA, 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 because that'll be quicker. And then that will rotate the 3 bits into bits 0, 1 and 2. Then what we need to do then is add 9 times 2, because 9 is the first bank of the screen. But because we're dealing at 8K, we want to times it by 2 because we're pre-doing it. And then we do next reg, oh, sorry, no, we need to do load current banks plus 6, comma A, and then next reg, MMU register 6, comma A, and then inc A, don't know why that didn't tap, current banks plus 7, comma A, next reg, there's a bug for you, Ped, if you're still here. When you press enter and the screen goes up, it doesn't do the auto tab, auto indent. MMU underscore register 7, comma A, and then basically we want to do load A, comma D, and it is 31, but it is, I'm just doing it this way so you can see we have used all 8 bits of the D register. Right, and then you OR it with string C0, then load D, comma A. Right, now that gives us D8 with our screen position. We've got our bank set in. So now we just want to get the font in there. Hopefully our font won't be outside. It won't be in the bank. It won't be at C1000, but it probably will do because we've got a spec font there, and that's one of the last things that's we'll see. I don't think we're using that much memory yet. Right, so we should still be in 16K, so that the character set isn't higher up in memory and getting banked out when we do them bank switches for banking in the screen. So now we want to do load A, comma C, and then actually we can do load L, comma C, load H, comma 0, add, yeah, just did it again, add HL, comma HL, add HL, comma HL, add HL, comma HL, add HL, comma font, where is it? It is font here. Right. Now we want to do load C, comma 8. Pchar C loop. Load B, comma 8. Pchar B loop. And then what we want to do, load A, comma brackets HL. Oh, actually, No, we don't want to do it there. We want to do it there. No, what's the best way to do this? Now if we ex d comma hl. Now the reason for that is swapping it over. So de is now where the character is, and hl is going to be the screen. Reason for that is you'll see we'll do rl a and then jr nc comma I forgot L2 just so that we know it's in layer 2 mode. Right. PCHR pop L2 PCHR inc L2 load brackets hl comma 255 for now, because I'm going to do something in a minute on the PR Inc thing, and then jr pchar done L2 pchr done L2 pchr pap L2. That will be load bracket hl comma 0. Right, so we've got PCHR Inc L2. PCHR Inc L2 plus 1. Right. Do inc hl. Well, in fact, we'll just do inc l because then we'll wrap it round and keep it on the same thingy. So if you go over, you will never overwrite a bank. And then dj nz nz pchr loop l2 and then load a comma l sub 8 load l comma a inc h dex c jr nz comma pchr c loop l2. Yeah, I guess that's Derek. Guess it was the pops we were missing at the end of the clear bank. Right, and then that should then pop BC. Want to pop the bank as well. HL, call set banks C1000. Right. Now, before that, I want to do load A, E, and A, 8. Load E, A. That should be it. Put the attributes in, add 8. Oh, so we do loop round. Right, okay. I will do that as well. Ret no carry. Otherwise, load A, D, add 8, 8. Load D, A, pair 192, ret, carry, load D, 0. Yep, that should do. And that basically, when we come in, we have the X and Y and E in the D register. So you just get the X position, add 8, store it back in E. If it hasn't gone over the edge or wrapped around, then it'll just return. If it has wrapped around, it'll add 8 to the D register to the Y. We need to do a load E, 0 there. So you set the cursor to the left edge. Well, yeah, and then add 8 to the Y position. If it's less than 192, return. Otherwise, set it to the top of the screen. Right. That was a lot. I hope you managed to follow. Doombot, you need to bugger off, dude. Right, where were we? Yeah, we should be able to run this now. And assemble. Jump out of range. It's easy enough to change. Line 85. To line 85. This one. Change to jump. Although that shouldn't be too far out. Not PR. Right. Here we go. Yeah. Did anyone spot what the issue was? Oh, bugger. Oh, I have managed to get out. Right. The issue was in our print character. We weren't increasing DE. Let's go to the next pixel row. Right, so save that. Oh. Save. Edit. Assemble. And run. Didn't subtract 32 from the font, or from the ASCII to the font size. So down, space. Right. So our code A, C sub 32, because our font starts at space, which is character 32. That's why we need the sub 32. There we go. So what we need to do now is change our clear screen. Which is in main. Sorry, it's in menu. Just do that. And then there we go. So all we got to do next is the plot. I reckon we get that done by 6. Tested and didn't take too long. Right, so menu is all done. And screen handler. What we need to do is put our plot here. Plot L2. I know I've got the calls below, but wants to push HL, push DE, push BC, load C, A, because A is going to be the correct colour. And we want to do load HL, bracket current banks plus 6, push HL. Plot HL, call set banks C1000, pop BC, pop DE, pop HL, red. Right. Load A, D, and one, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then RLCA, 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 and A, 9 times 2. Actually, you only need one bank, because we're only plotting a pixel, so it will never go across more than one bank. It will only be one pixel. So let's do the next reg. then you register 7, A. So you got the bank from the top 3 bits of D, the Y position. Then we do load A, D, and the bottom 5 bits, which is nodes 31, and then or string C0. Ooh, that shouldn't be 7, that should be 6. Accidentally press semicolon there. And then load D, A. Load A, C, load bracket D, A. And then that's it. Now we need to go down to the bottom, change our plot out to it. Right, we've also got to do check pixel. So basically we need to copy this routine. Current banks plus 6 push F, that should be pop F, and then that should be load current banks plus 6 comma A, and then this shouldn't be the call, this should, because I'm only setting one bank. Next reg, and you register 6 comma A. Right. And then pop AF. Load bracket current banks plus 6 comma A. Next reg MMU register 6, and then pop BC, pop BE, pop HL red. Right, I want to do load A, D, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and RLCA, 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 add A, comma 9 times 2, load brackets, current banks plus 6, comma A. We want to do time, what is a comment there? Load A, comma D, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or string C0, load D, comma A. next reg MMU register 6, A. Right, load A, brackets DE, and load C, A, load A, C. Basically just what I'm doing there is temporarily storing the pixel in C while we pop AF and set the old bank. Then get the C register, back in A. Get the pixel back in A and then pop B, C, D, H, L and then return. Right, so our check pixel sets the NZ. So what we can do is we can then do or A, and that gives us the same effect. If it's non-zero, because the screen is cleared to black, if it's not anything other than 0, anything other than black, then it will be a collision, whether it's the wall or whatever. So now we need to go to main. To load A, 255 because we want a white border. 2. Load A, 255. Actually, if we check, see what our screen handler does on a plot pixel. If we push AF there and then pop AF there, that means, yeah, I know it's slower, but it also means that we don't have to remember what our plot color is. As long as the A register doesn't get changed, which it doesn't, we can even cut that from there and put that there. So L2, 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 L2. I know that's only in the comments. They're buddies. Let's go to player and buddies code now. Because when I assemble it, who's asking? No, the RLCA rotates through the carry. RLA will take it into the RLCA copies it in bit 7 into carry, but it also copies it into bit 0. RLA will take it in bit 7 into the carry and carry into bit 0. Is what fast and load A with for. Where's the load A from comma 4 come from, guys? Just looking in the comments. Yeah, it becomes 5, not 4, Matt. The value that Ped put in the comments, the 1010 and then 0011, when the AND will lop off the bottom 5 bits, and the RLCA and the RLCA will take the 3 bits from the top into the bottom. Yeah. Are you okay with what the rotate left with carry does? Same with rotate right with carry, actually. Now if I right, so say we've got A equals 1 1 0 1 0 and then 0 0 1 1. Right, when we do the AND equals 1 0 1 0 0 0 0 0, that is after and 1 1 1 oh, 1 1 1 0 0 0 0 0, and then the A equals 0 1 0 0 0 0 0 1 after RLCA. And carry is set. Then A equals 1 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 after second RLCA, and carry is clear because it was the old bit 7. It was that goes in, that bit gets copied into into carry, as well as bit 0. As you can see, that one got copied into carry and bit 0, and then 0 gets copied into the carry and 0. And the rest of the 7 bytes are just moved up 1. These are just moved up 1, so it's 1's gone to there, and then all the rest are 0s, and then the last one is there. And then after the last thingy, after third RLCA, and carry is set. And it's set because the that bit was rotated left and into the carry, as well as into bit 0. Hope that cleared it up. If you guys have any issues with the instructions, like on what they do, Ped has done a copy because it disappeared a little while ago. Whether it's back or what, I don't know. Oh, it is back, but it did disappear a while ago at clrhome.org/table/. I'll put a comment in. That's Ped's version, which includes all the next instructions as well. And that's the original, which is just the Z80 instructions. And you can use them for reference, good point of reference for what the instructions are doing. Yeah, it's added the extra fixed typos. But yeah, I've swapped over to using PEDs now, as it includes the extra instructions. Or the extra next instructions, like swap nib and mirror and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a good solid resource. It's my quick reference go-to, but now it's my quick reference go-to is Ped's version of it. So anyway, glad that's cleared up the RLCA. It's the same with our RCA. That will rotate right, and then bit 0 will get copied into carry and copied into bit 7, and the other bits were shifted right. And if you do the RRA, the bits are shifted right, but bit 0 is copied into the, well, bit 0 is put into the carry. The old carry was put into bit 7, so it's basically like 9 bits that get rotated rather than just 8. Whereas the RLCA just rotates through the 8 bits and copies the bit that got rolled out into the carry flag. Yeah, they did a lot of the hard work. It was a big resource that they had. Right, so where were we? Yeah, let's get these plots done. It's in player. So actually, if I run this, we should get our countdown. I changed the prints, didn't I, in the main? So start game 3, 2, 1, go, go, and 3, 2, 1, go, die again, and right now, player. So we need to load player.odn. check pixel L2. What's L2? Load a comma. We shall have green for us and blue for the baddies. Right. So let's save that and then load baddies.odn. Again, we'll go and find the plot. Two. Check pixel L2. And L2. 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 I'm sure I've missed one out here somewhere. Need an undo. L2. Right. I think that is all our check pixels and plot pixels. Change to L2. Yep. Save that. Right, the border's not right. Right, we need to the plot. We need to do load a comma. We wanted blue for these, didn't we? In our main, need to find out why it's not. L2. L2. There we go. That should. L2. Make sure all the CLSs are L2s now. Yep. Go. keep forgetting, like, because it's on a capture thingy and it's way ahead of what we're actually seeing. So when it looks close to the close to the line, it's probably already hit it. Anyway, we are now in L2 and no attribute clash. Right. So I think we shall leave it there. Is everyone up to date? I will put a copy of my files on the Discord channel, and then you can find it there. Yeah, what I was going to do is when you kill the baddie, which is what we're going to do next week, when you kill the baddie, yeah, I want to go and remove their trail. So it makes it a bit easier. And also next week, put some proper wait for V blanks in rather than just a delay, and get it synced properly to the refresh rate of the screen, rather than just a delay of like 30,000 or whatever it is. Right, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that tutorial. It was a bit of a long one, and mainly coding rather than talking, but it was a lot of what I'll do next week as well is I will go over the actual plot and the code behind the plot. Hopefully you understood a bit of it, what we were doing with rotating the bits in, and then ORing it into the in C0 into the high byte to get it to bank 6. Well, MMU bank 6, because that's at C0. MMU bank 7 is at E0, or E000 to EFFF, and like I say, we'll hopefully next week I'll go through that in a bit more detail and comment the code, because it's a bit late to be commenting it now, as it's nearly 6 o'clock and time for tea. But yeah, I'll go through the like I say, through the plot and that, and comment the print or all the new bits that we've added today, and the memory access and the layer 2 port stuff, and explain what is happening, and go through why we save the stack, and a bit more detail into the banks, and why we need to store what bank we're in, and everything, mainly due to interrupts, and the same reason we had to move the stack out the way, because that's another. When you start messing around with banks, anyone knows who initially, when they got their 128, they started changing banks and stuff, and then all of a sudden it crashed, and you're thinking, well, why did it just crash when it just changed bank? And it was usually because your stack was up in the bank that you just banked out, and so when you return from the routine that you just called, the stack would be in another bank, so it just called a random address, which was probably usually 0, and you get a crash. That'll reset. Still not got your head around some of the screen manipulation for plots. Yeah, like I said, is that the ULA stuff or the layer 2? Derek, the TS, I'm not sure that the is that text save or save is ST save text or text save? Yeah, TS and TL, isn't it? I don't think that's in it anymore at the moment because he did all the changes. Ped, if you're still here, you can correct me. I don't think you can, or you can either you can't load, or you can load but you can't save, or one of the two. I can't remember. It works. Oh, does text load work as well? No, it should work. Cool. I'm glad they've been fixed. It was, yeah, you couldn't save before. Right. Cool. Excellent. So yeah, we shall carry on with this next week. I will also zip up my files again and put them into like I say, into Discord, in the Discord channel, and then you can grab them from there for next week if you didn't manage to get up to date. Or if you know, you're more than welcome to go back over and follow the screen slowly with pausing and rewinding and stuff. If you fell behind during the episode, that's if you catch up that way if you want to. That's not a problem. Anyway, have enjoyed the rest of your weekend, guys, and I shall see you all next week. If you have any comments or questions, just message me in the group on the Discord channel. I posted the link earlier in the one that Matt sent. And so basically, if you scroll down the channels that are inside that group, there's Jim's tutorials and Odin. I'll put the source in the Jim's tutorials. I think I did put it in Odin before. Yeah, I put it in Odin. The source dump. I'll put the latest source dump in Odin as well, and that way it's all in the same place when you get the next ones. And I don't know if anyone's gone into the Discord channel. Matt has indeed put his version of the system.odn, or the defines basically, and what I will do is, in fact, not save my version. I will sometime this week I will update it to use his system.odn, and then I will put that in the beginning. I'll post a link to it at the beginning of next week's one, and then we can all get up to date and use the system.odn file rather than the defines. And that should include all of them then. Right, like I say, have a good weekend and catch you all soon. See you later. Glad you enjoyed the show. Derek said that I think it was much of the code was copied. Could have saved a screen handler 2.odin. Yeah, could have saved it screen handler .l2 and done it a lot quicker actually. You're right. And then we could have, in fact, what I will do, that's a good point that Derek, what I will do is I will separate screen handler and screen handler to screen handler and screen handler 2, and then all we'll have to do, then we can just include whichever screen handler we want, and I will rename the print routines. I'll take the L2 off, and so you just use the same routines so that it's on L2 or L1, on L2 or ULA, but it's using the same routines. And then we can do the same with the tile map when we come to do the tile map stuff, and then that way you're still calling the same routines. Obviously you won't be able to plot on the tile map. Actually we might need a different print routine for the tile map because you will be plotting on ULA or L2. So yeah, the tile map will be different print routines because you can have the ULA and layer 2 as well. So yeah, yeah, what I'll do is I'll separate them out and I will keep the L2, but you can choose which ones you want to include in your code. Right, anyway, definitely going now. Thanks for watching and catch you all soon. Bye.